Hello, and welcome to the 30th episode of Course Place. I'm so glad you've chosen to join me for today's conversation. In today's episode, I will be sharing a letter I wrote for all of you and also sharing about mental health. As always, if you like what you hear, please leave a review and/or comments, follow my podcast, and tell your friends. Also, please follow the podcast page I've made on Facebook. If you would like to contact me via email instead of a Facebook message, you can email me at corachin@mailbox.org. If you are new here, welcome. I'm your host, Cora, and I am so excited to have you on this journey with me. Before I get into today's topic, I have a couple of quick things I want to mention. The first is that I don't have a truth talk for this week since it is a different kind of episode. The second is that I wanted to make sure that I let you all know I have decided to postpone the episode where I share listener feedback for right now. Please feel free to send in your feedback still, though. I will do my best to do it as soon as I can and as soon as I have enough to put into an episode. The final thing is that this episode might be a little heavier than normal, and it is a little more sensitive of a topic, so you may want to listen on your own or with headphones if you have younger kids. If you are a kid, you may want to skip this episode. If you still choose to listen, that's okay too. Now, sit back, get comfortable, and enjoy today's episode. Today, I wanted to share a letter I wrote to you all as an apology, and I also wanted to share about mental health. Before I get into that, though, I just want to say thank you for helping this podcast get to 30 episodes. I'm so thankful that I get to create this podcast for all of you. It is so much fun and truly one of my favorite hobbies. Now, here is the letter I wrote for all of you. Dear listeners, I am writing this letter to you as an apology. You may be confused as to why I am apologizing, or you may be wondering what I am apologizing for, but I'll just go ahead and tell you now. I am apologizing because I have been talking about my opinions on different things. I know some people may disagree with them. What I mean by that is when I discuss topics like faith, mental health, or other controversial things, I choose to speak about those things because those types of conversations are so important to have. However, I will admit that some of those conversations were a little nerve-wracking or scary to post. Not necessarily because they are bad, but just because I know those things can cause debates or disagreements sometimes. I don't ever plan to make any episodes about political things, but that is only because I don't really feel like making episodes like that is the best use of this platform or my time. I would rather use this platform and my time working on this podcast to spread hope, encouragement, love, and truth. I feel like making political episodes or anything like that would be spending unnecessary energy and time on things that could just cause arguments or debates. I know your opinion may differ from mine, but I would rather discuss topics that I am passionate about and that I care about instead of starting arguments or fights about politics or other subjects. I am not going to stop talking about mental health or faith, even when it is scary. We can't just stay silent about faith or mental health. Those topics matter way too much to not talk about. No matter what happens or how scary it is for me to talk about it, I am not willing to stop talking about mental health or faith, and I am not willing to let the world shut me down for talking about these things. The state of mental health in this world is not good at all. I think the reason why the world's mental health state is this way is because people are too scared to acknowledge the overwhelming amount of mental health struggles in the world and even in their own lives. So many people struggle with mental health, and we need to talk about it and speak up about it more often than we do. It may be scary, but if we don't talk about it and get the help that we need, that will cause us to have more problems. We have to take the step of faith and do scary things sometimes. It's okay if you're scared. That is normal. I even feel that emotion sometimes. Do the next right thing and share about how you are really doing. Don't just fake being fine. Anyway, I am sorry for talking about these. I just want you all to know that faith and mental health are so important to talk about. We have got to break down this barrier between us and talking about mental health. Please don't let your mental health move down on your priority list. Please take care of yourself. You can't serve and love others well if you aren't doing well. We need to make our mental health a priority. It is so urgent that we take care of ourselves. Give yourself grace when you are struggling. It's okay if you aren't doing well 100% of the time. Having struggles is a completely normal thing in this life. Give God your worries and concerns. Don't try to carry these burdens on your own. That will not help you. Sincerely, Cora. We are in a huge mental health crisis. Like I stated in the letter, no matter what happens or how scary it is for me to talk about, I am not willing to stop talking about mental health or faith. I am choosing to be bold by taking a risk and sharing about these things. If I don't, I'm not sure who, if anybody, will actually share about these things. That is why I am choosing to speak about these topics. They need to be discussed more often than they are. Don't hide your struggles. Someone has to be bold and talk about these things. I'm not really afraid of talking about mental health, sharing the gospel, or talking about faith on this podcast. They are all topics that need to be discussed in today's world. I should be able to voice my own opinions about them and not feel ashamed or afraid of talking about them. It might still make me nervous about them, but they really do need to be discussed more in this world. The state of mental health in this world is not good. I think the reason why the world's mental health state is this way is because people are too scared to acknowledge the overwhelming amount of mental health struggles in the world and even in their own life. So many people struggle with mental health, and we need to talk about it and speak up about it more often than we do. It may be scary, but if we don't talk about it and get the help that we need, that will cause us to have more problems. Do the next right thing and share about how you are really doing. Don't just fake being fine. We have got to break down this barrier between us and talking about mental health. Please don't let your mental health move down on your priority list. Please take care of yourself. You can't serve and love others well if you aren't doing well. We need to make our mental health a priority. It is so urgent that we take care of ourselves. Give yourself grace when you are struggling. It's okay if you aren't doing well 100% of the time. Having struggles is a completely normal thing in this life. Give God your worries and concerns. Don't try to carry these burdens all on your own. That will not help you at all. That will only make things worse if you try to carry your burdens all alone without any help. Jesus wants to carry your burdens. You can trust him. He is worthy of our praise, trust, worship, and adoration. We need his strength and presence every day. We can't do life without Jesus. We will only struggle more if we try to do life without him. He has to be a part of our everyday lives. He is the one who gave us life by sending his son, Jesus, to die a horrible death for us. He didn't have to do that, but he chose to because of his incredible love for us. If we try to carry our burdens alone, that will only make our mental health struggles even harder. I find that being in community with others is so helpful for me. Please reach out to someone right now if you are struggling. It could be a trusted friend, family member, pastor, counselor, or a mentor. Just someone you know who you can trust and that will point you back to Jesus. Don't walk the path alone. You need to have someone come along beside you to help you and encourage you during the hard moments of a trial. If you don't have anyone to talk to, I am deeply sorry for that. Please reach out to me and I will do my best to help you in any way I possibly can. Having people to walk beside you during trials is so extremely important and vital. I have even seen that in my own life. Having people I can go to in trials is such a blessing and it is so important. If any of what I just said resonated with you, please know that you are not alone and that you do have people around you who want to help you. All you have to do is reach out and ask for help. Like I said before, I am happy to help in any way I can, so please reach out to me if you need someone to talk to. Don't isolate yourself in the midst of struggles. Talk to somebody. Personally, it helps me to know that I have people I can go to in the midst of hard times in my life. If I didn't have people around me, I don't know what my life would look like, or even if I would have this podcast right now. I want to pray for any of you listening right now that are struggling in this moment. Let's pray. God, I just pray for the listener who is hearing this episode right now. I pray that you would fill them with your joy, your peace, your presence, your rest, and remind them of who you are. You are a good father, faithful friend, wonderful counselor, and so many other things. We need you, God. Help us to trust you. Grant us your joy and peace. Fill us with the hope that can only be found in you. Give us the courage we need to talk about our mental health with others when we are in a deep valley. God, please be with the listeners who are struggling right now. You are powerful enough that you can bring them out of the struggles in your timing. Give them your hope and your strength to walk through whatever trial they are currently facing. I ask that you would please place someone in their life who they can talk to in the midst of their struggles and just be with them in this time when they need you most, even if they don't realize it right now. I also pray for the people listening who don't know you. I pray that you would give them the courage to reach out to a trusted Christian they know and that you would lead them to you. Amen. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please follow, leave a comment, and a review of my podcast if you haven't already, and please follow my podcast page on Facebook so you never miss an update. If you have any verses you'd like me to read on a future episode, or if you have any topics you'd like me to talk about, you can email me at corachin@mailbox.org, send me a message on my podcast page on Facebook, or a voice message through the link in the show notes, and I will get back to you when I can. Hope you tune in next week for the 31st episode.